student sent me a message asking, Priscilla, I always confuse the prepositions in and at. What can I do about it, and why does this always happen to me? I always confuse the prepositions. Let's talk about this, and I will give you some ideas to help you improve your use of prepositions. If you don't know me well, I am Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Consider subscribing to the channel because there's always a new lesson to help you speak English more confidently. Now here we go. In, at, on, what a nightmare. I get it. But the problem is, when you are in the real world, will be a different game compared to when you're studying. Therefore, when you are studying, you need to have really solid strategies so that when you go to the game, the real world, you deliver in a more efficient manner. But what happens is, I could come here and give you the explanations. Preposition in, preposition on, preposition at. And they are important. You need the definitions, you need the explanations, you need the examples. They are all relevant. But what happens to most English learners? They stop there. Oh, wonderful, Teacher Prix. Thank you. Now I know the difference between in and on and at. Yes, amazing. And they go on about their day. And they miss the most important part, which is to use, which is to show the brain, hey, now I am gonna use. Teacher Prix was showing me how to use those prepositions, and she was teaching me the differences. But now it is my job. Now I am gonna create. One thing that I always teach my students in my program, my academy, and you can find the link in the description of this video, is fluent people create. At the end of the day, I could spend hours and hours giving you rules of how to use prepositions of movement, of place, of time. But if you don't follow the next step, which is to create, to force your brain to go into creation mode, formation mode, and come up with your own ideas, then whenever it is go time to talk, to create, to type, you won't know. You will get stuck. You will have a lot of doubt. You will feel very anxious. And then the first preposition that comes to your mind will be the lucky one. Hopefully the right one. But in most scenarios, it won't be. And how do you fix that part? You need a better process. You need a better study routine. So this is one aspect of the learning process that students fail to understand. So let me put this into a more contextualized explanation. So let's say I am talking about prepositions of place. So I show you in, I show you at. Wonderful. I gave you the explanations and I gave you examples. What is your next step? Okay, now I'm going to think about my life, my examples. What places do I usually go to? Oh, I can also add preposition to. How can I create examples with in, examples with at, examples with to? What collocations can I add in this practice so I can talk about? Then I'm going to use different kinds of stimuli. I can use speaking one. I can use a written one. I can visualize. I can see. I can listen. So I need this integrated practice to help me absorb the information I am studying. This is something I do with my students when I am teaching them grammar, vocabulary, anything connected to English. I give them different kinds of stimuli, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, different kinds of exercises, speaking, writing, listening, reading, inserting the information I want to teach in each module. So you learned that preposition of place. You saw the examples. Now I need to create my examples by writing and by speaking. Now I need to see examples of that in context, in texts, in audio materials, and train my eyes to identify those examples. Whenever I am reading something in English, I love reading in English, I always train my eyes to look at prepositions and combinations. And when I see a combination of a verb plus a preposition or an adjective plus a preposition, I stop and I check, oh, this is a different combination. I'm going to write it down and then I'm going to create an example because it's new to me. This is a more productive approach. Now, it doesn't mean that the next time you go to a conversation, you're going to get it all right. No, because that is unrealistic. Don't be unrealistic with your goal setting. Because if you intend to never make mistakes again with prepositions, I'm not the teacher for you. I don't think you're going to find a teacher that will confidently look at you in the eye and say, after my lessons, you will never forget prepositions again in your life. That is bonkers, okay? Because that's not how the brain works. The brain needs context. The brain needs situations, examples. That's how it learns. That's how it learns. I can give you definitions and examples, but they are not enough. You also need to be the creator of your journey. And this is the part that the students miss, okay? Now, we go back again to in and at. I'm obsessed with in and at tonight, or today, this afternoon. You name it. I don't know when you're watching this. Tell me when you're watching this, in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night. I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Another situation is, okay, you learn those prepositions and all those rules. Then we have goddamn collocations. There are thousands of collocations, thousands of combinations. You learned in to talk about prepositions of place, okay, to talk about place. But then you learn that in my home is not the best collocation. It's best to say at home. You can say in my house, but if you're using home, it's better to say at home. So if someone calls you, hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm at home. You don't need to say in my home. It is not entirely inappropriate, but we need to understand situations. But I can say I'm in my house, in my living room. I'm in my bedroom, I'm in my office. Then it's fine. But if someone calls you and says, hey, where are you? Oh, I'm at the office. But Priscilla, you just said at the office. Why not in the office? Because the ideas change. So I need to understand collocations and I need to understand situations, not only the rules, because the rules are very clear. What is not always clear is the context. And this is what students don't spend much time studying. So collocations will be a big part of your process if you're struggling to use prepositions correctly, okay? You also need to understand that some preposition mistakes will not hinder communication. They will not stop communication, okay? And I'm not saying this is fine. Oh, it's fine. I made a preposition mistake, but they understood what I wanted to say, so it's good. It's fine. It's fine. Well, it's okay. You need to spend time studying. But what I always tell my students in my program is fluency is communication, not perfection. If you aim at perfection, you will get your heart broken. Big time. You will get frustrated, you will start to doubt yourself, to question your ability to speak English, your ability to achieve English fluency, and I don't want that for you. I want you to believe you can, and you will confuse prepositions in conversations. What you need to understand is, my confusion gonna block conversation, or will people still understand what I say? Because if they do, it's fine. You need to go back and study, because sometimes native speakers will correct you if you make a preposition mistake. And it's okay. Then take note, pay attention to that mistake and work on them. Work on the mistakes. Then it's fine. Another important element here, phrasal verbs and collocations, they are different things, okay? Let's say you learn the preposition up, down. Then we have above, below. They're different types of preposition. Even though they have similar ideas, above, up, below, under, they don't have the same use, okay? Keep that in mind. They're not necessarily the same. They have similar contexts, but the ideas are different. So I need to understand how to use them. And when I go to the phrasal verbs, put up with has nothing to do with up. And this is the challenge with phrasal verbs. So if you're struggling with phrasal verbs and you think that it's because of the prepositions, no, it's a different game. Because with prepositions, we have situations, we have many different uses for prepositions. Keep that in mind if you're new to my channel or if you're coming back from previous videos you have already watched. If you want to learn the language, you need to think of the language as a bunch of situations, okay? I want to talk about different topics. I want to talk about different subjects. I want to talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime about different things. That's what I teach my students. I know you can be fluent, and I know you can do that in 6 months if you understand this concept, that every week I must think about a different subject to study, to talk about. Because that way you will be enriching your repertoire and you will be able to insert different grammar lessons to complement your journey, to complement your experience. That is a more productive way to go. So if you're always struggling with prepositions, what you need to go back to is how I study, how I contextualize, and not simply go with I must memorize. Because when you start thinking that way, you will be blocking your ability to use prepositions in different kinds of conversations. Share this with a friend.